Today on Zero to Awesome, Sarah gets high at least once, maybe even twice. So Sarah needs to get high today for one main reason, and that is because she is a leaky girl. And all this oil here has dripped out of her since she's just been sitting in the garage. She's only been driven around the block maybe once or twice, and she's leaking a lot. So we need to fix that before we can actually get her on the road and, make her into an awesome camper. I mean, the bumper's already awesome, but, we had to do that. And the other thing is, she needs to grow. This gap right here needs to go up. That gap back there needs to go up, and she needs to get bigger and beefier. So two things today. We're taking the transmission out, so she's got to go up, drop the transmission down, get to the rear main seal, which is what we think is causing this big oil leak here. And then second, we have a lift kit, so she'll be going up, assuming everything goes well with the transmission. We'll see. So here goes. Small change in plans. I've been doing a little investigating, and it looks like there's a chance it could be the oil pan seal, and it's somehow getting into this cover right here and dripping down inside the transmission, and maybe it's not actually the rear main seal. So that would be easier than taking the transmission out. So I'm gonna do a little exploring real quick and see if we can figure out what the problem actually is. So we got the inspection cover for the transmission off, and if you look in there very closely, which you may not even be able to see, maybe, the oil pan right there, there's a bunch of drips coming off the bottom of it. So I suppose there's a chance that maybe the rear main seal is leaking down to the oil pan, but for now, I think we're gonna go with the assumption that the oil pan is what's leaking, which would also go along with these marks up here where it looks like it's been at least seeping. So we're gonna take the oil pan off, change the oil pan seal, and then maybe our oil leak will be solved. Maybe not, I don't know. We'll find out though. So that took a whole bunch of wiggling, but we eventually got it. So this is the oil pan here, and this is the seal in the back. You can see right there, it's really dark, like there's been a lot of oil leaking through there for a long time. So that could be our culprit. So that would leak right here, letting oil go down into the bell housing, which is where it's been dripping out of. So we'll get this all cleaned up, scrape off this goop, scrape off the goop on there, put more goop on, and then put it back in. So we've got all of our old gasket material scraped off. I also went ahead and threw some paint on the oil pan because it was starting to rust, and we don't want Sarah to rust out too soon. So next up, all of our surfaces have been cleaned with degreaser. So we're gonna go, and the kit comes with some black silicone that we're gonna put all down around here. And it's gonna be, I think, kind of challenging to get this back in place because it was a pain to get out. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some gray sealant here and glue these guys in place on the engine, and then put the black sealant on, get it all in place, and hopefully that does the trick. Instructions say don't use silicone on these, but everyone on the internet says throw these away just to use the gasket maker. So we're gonna do a hybrid approach of rubber things and gasket maker. So everything is back together and looking good. The oil pan went on relatively easily. Everything else that I had to take apart to get to it is bolted back together. We got our new oil filter on there. And so the only thing left to do, I think, is fill Sarah up with some oil and start her up, see if we leak. Okay, lad. Before Sarah returns to the earth, we're gonna do one more thing, and that is we're gonna take her up just a little bit higher. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna lift her. And the way we're gonna do that is the poor man's lift kit. So what that consists of is these rear leaf shackles. So these are going to replace those guys right back there, and they're bigger, so Sarah will go higher in the back. And then in the front uses torsion bars for its springiness. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna crank on the torsion bars right here, which will turn them that way, which will make this go that way and raise Sarah up. Fun fact, a first generation Nissan Xterra takes 3.5 quarts of oil, which makes it really hard to measure out of a 5-quart jug with no window to see how much oil you put in. Oil is in, lift is on. We got about 1.5 inches in the back, 1 inch up front. So Sarah is looking good. She is feeling good now that she's probably not leaking anymore. And I'm tired. The sun's starting to set. Most people would call it a day, but I've got one more trick up my sleeve. So this morning, my wife was leaving to see her dad, and I was getting the truck ready for her to go. The thing is, she never really takes the truck, and she didn't question it, but the reason I got the truck ready is because I had ulterior motives. I might be in trouble when she gets home. So I think the tires are looking pretty good. Maybe we'll go with that size. Maybe we'll go bigger. I don't know. But I think we've probably got the oil leak fixed. Sarah's lifted. Next up, we're ready to get into the actual camper work, I think. I think we're done with all the maintenance, trying to get her ready to hit the road. So if you like the way Sarah looks, hit that like button and don't forget to hit subscribe to see the rest of her build. And until next time, sorry honey. See you later.